everybody. Oh, yeah, welcome back to another hot installment of your favorite podcast. Yes, a very special podcast. And this is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear. And then we discuss it over a glass of wine. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by my beauty box queen, Kat Halstead, the author. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, Kat. How are you?
Hello. I had no clue what you were going to say. It's so funny you say that, though, because I literally have a beauty box sitting next to me.
Yes, she's got her Roxy charm.
I have my Boxy Lux.
What's it called?
This is, it's from BoxyCharm. This is the Boxy Lux that I got.
I love it. I stand.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what exciting things are inside of that box.
Ooh.
What's in the box, to quote Brad Pitt?
You will probably see them long before this video is up. Or this episode is up, not video, whatever. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. It's already a mess and we're 30 seconds in.
It's been a wild time. It's been a wild couple of weeks. Our episodes are staggered, so who knows when this will air. This could air in like 2021, but hopefully not. Hopefully not, because we got a lot of timely things to talk about.
Dear God, if it's 2021 when you release this, man.
I don't know. We got so many in the can. So many hot apps in the can, right? Am I right?
Okay, at this point we have so many pre-recorded. I was sure that we released an episode and I was trying to find the link for it and I was going crazy. I'm I know we recorded this.
Enjoy our Tiger King references.
Which I told you to stop making after the first time.
Well, it was freshly out and it made its way into 7 episodes.
Yes, but I told you, we knew we were staggering episodes. We were batch recording. And you're no, it's cool. I'm no. You're going to be that lame old man who's still talking about the soup Nazi on Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I will always be talking about the soup Nazi on Seinfeld because he's great. He's a great guy. He has a great method. You know what? I was all for the soup Nazi's method because that's how I feel when you go to one of those Chipotle, Qdoba, Moe's Southwest Tavern type place.
Mm-hmm.
Moe's Southwest Grill. I combined Moe's with Moe's Tavern.
Your brain is a special, special world.
It's just a clusterfuck of madness. I've been up for many, many hours waiting for Kat Halstead, the author, to arisen from a crypt.
Hey, listen. I was at work until midnight last night.
That is true. You did send me a hot video when you were driving home saying that this might be the last thing anyone ever sees in case, I don't know, you get abandoned on the side of the road and become the subject of a murder mystery / vanished person podcast, which I found a hot Reddit, which is just all without a trace, vanished without a trace, and I am enthralled in that world. I'm here for it.
Wow.
All right, so today we got a real big treat for you. We got a Canadian treat, little slice of Canadian bacon for you. It's an import all the way from our neighbors up north, America's Hat. This was a series that was originally on from 1988 to 1991. It starred as a star an American actor,
yes,
Jerry O'Connell. Yes, I looked it up. He's not Canadian, so I was a little confused why he's in this. This is a show. It made its way to the U.S., at least in my area. I don't know about you. It was definitely on WBSK 38 or Channel 56 WLVI in Boston. One of those. I don't remember, but
I'm sure Channel 11 or Channel 9 aired it in the New York tri-state area. Maybe even the Fox channel.
I actually looked up its syndication USA run. It was only in a few markets. It didn't air everywhere. It only made it to a few major markets. So, ooga. So I was lucky. I was lucky to be blessed with young Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
Who, all right, the show started in 1988. We were 7-ish when it came out.
Yeah.
I actually thought this was about an older guy. I thought this was maybe someone who was 18 or 19 years old, but no, Jerry O'Connell's 14 in this.
Yeah, it kind of made part of this a little awkward to watch. As a woman of a certain age in 2020.
Anyway, we're doing My Secret Identity. This was a superhero-ish type show. It starred Jerry O'Connell as Andrew Clements. He was just kind of a awkward 14-year-old boy who I don't know, he mowed his neighbor's lawns for $5 a pop. And he just happened to live next door to, I don't know, some wacky Back to the Future-esque type scientist who conducted experiments out of his basement.
Yes.
And This show gave me the wild impression that, when I got into my teenage years, that, the neighbor down the street was going to be a scientist, and I'd go on all kinds of wild adventures, but never happened. Never happened. I never got accidentally shot with a photon beam.
No, as we know, Patrick spent his teenage years on AOL with me.
Yeah, no, I just waited every day when I was delivering papers that I'd, be told to come in to collect the cash that I needed that week, and my crazy scientist neighbor was downstairs doing some experiments, and I'd go downstairs because that's where he is. His wife sends me down there, and then I accidentally trip over something and I fall into the photon beam and get shot with gamma rays, and now all of a sudden I can float and I can I'm impenetrable to needles, and I can get punched in the face by mobsters and not feel a thing.
Okay, my favorite part of this little scenario you have created is that you believe the wackiest scientist that was possibly down the street from you had a wife.
Ooh, you think that's the wildest part of the story right there?
Let's look at pop culture wacky scientists.
I don't know.
Did Doc Brown have a wife?
He did not.
Not until the guy went back to 1889 or whatever.
And landed himself Mary Steenburgen. Hot pick for him, by the way. You know what?
Yeah, because he saved her from dying in the canyon that she originally died in timeline.
Yeah, and then he brought her back to the future, and then she met Ted Danson, and together they lived a wild life, and occasionally did episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And sometimes she drank wine on Last Man on Earth. Shout out to Mary Steenburgen, friend of the show, hot mom.
Okay, we're moving on now.
She doesn't think so.
But yeah, think about it. When you have these wacky scientist guys, they never have a girlfriend. They never have a wife.
I don't know.
They're devoted to their wild, wacky, crazy inventions. Think about Dr. Fink on The Simpsons.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe in my neighborhood, maybe mine was the exception, because I lived kind of in like a suburb, a little cul-de-sac-y type area. And, we didn't allow single people in our neighborhood. No, we rode you out of town.
Oh, that's right. You totally didn't have, a house of bachelors on your street like I did.
You really did?
Yeah, we've gone over this.
You don't think that they were two homosexual men living with each other and just kind of keeping it a secret from the world?
No, because there was more than, two. There was more than two.
Oh, you think they were in a throuple? You think they got Frankie Grande involved?
No. Why do you have to go to that place every fucking time, Patrick?
It's a dark place. It's a dark world out there, Cat Hall said the author. It's a dark world that's filled with unicorns.
Okay, so, it was the 80s, and it was, a 3-bedroom house, and there were multiple guys that lived there. They were, youngish guys, probably had jobs in the city, because it's a quick train ride to New York.
Oh, it's just like that show that we did a couple, last year, Down the Shore.
That's probably what it was more like.
And occasionally Kathy Ireland pops by to go on a date with the nerdy one.
Yeah. Hey, dude, man, that nightie I ordered from her line is so freaking comfortable.
Yeah, shout out to Kathy Ireland's new line. I think it's on Amazon now. I think, Kmart.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. That's why I ordered it.
She's she couldn't keep the Kmart empire running. She should have done what Cindy Crawford did, got a rooms to go type deal. Pick out furniture for us. Maybe she could have picked out furniture for the house sitter house, because, that was ugly, huh?
Maybe Kathy Ireland should do, a monthly pajama box.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, God. Cat Hall said, be give me my money, Kathy Ireland. Just take all my fucking cash right now.
Take my money.
Yeah.
Take my money. I mean...
Just direct deposit it into her account. Just tell your work. This is where you need to put your money.
It's pajama box from Kathy Ireland.
Maybe you get a cardboard cutout.
Take my money.
I love it. You know what, Kathy Ireland, if you hear this, tweet us at Fairy Podcast. We got ideas. Maybe we can do a team up, little group thing. Work out some new hot deals. We'll get our business team on it. We have our business manager working on it now. Business manager Mike. Manager Mike, just hired him. He's doing all kinds of hot stuff for us. He's wailing and dealing out there in the streets, in these podcast streets. All right. Jerry O'Connell, he's fresh off Stand By Me.
Yes.
And, at Stand By Me, he was kind of a short, chunky little guy, still had his baby fat. And here it is 2 years later, and he's taller, he's slimmer.
Yeah.
And, he's on the way. He's on the way to becoming the Jerry O'Connell, the one who stole...
Yes.
Rebecca Romaine from John Stamos. So that's what's in store for this kid, for this nerdy little kid who flies around town with aerosol cans. We'll get to it. Hold on. Before we get in there, I have a question for you. I have a hot question for you. We're going to play the Rebecca Romaine game. You ready to play the Rebecca Romaine game?
What is the Rebecca Romaine game?
All right, you're Rebecca Romaine. This is kind of a crossover between The Good Son and Rebecca Romaine. So you're Rebecca Romaine. You're just chilling on the ledge of a cliff. I don't know, maybe reading Vanity Fair. Maybe you got a cover, like an ad in there or something. I don't know. And you see your two loves, John Stamos and Jerry O'Connell, fighting over something near the edge of the cliff, and they both roll off. You only have enough upper arm strength to pull one of them up. Who would you save? Our boy JS or our other boy JO?
I'm saving John Stamos.
Really? Ooh, good pick. I respect your pick, but you know what? I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna save Jerry O'Connell in this scenario. I don't know. I feel like he's got the bigger career. He can support me longer in the long run. You know, he's got all that Sliders cash.
What's the last thing you know Jerry O'Connell did, though?
He voices Superman in all those like direct to streaming Justice League movies. He's got like a huge career in that.
I thought that was Timothy Daley.
It was Timothy Daley for a while. Well, there's like different versions of it. They have like I think Timothy Daley does like the animated series version, and then Jerry O'Connell does like the movies, the ones that are little shorts, you know, the one and dones. Mm-hmm. Not an ongoing series. You don't believe me? Look it up.
I'll look it up. I just
look it up. Plus,
didn't know. Because the last thing I saw him in was a Hallmark movie.
Oh, yeah, he gets around. You know,
the Hallmark movie was with Rebecca Romaine, though.
Yeah. She does stuff too. Like she's out there, and like she's not as big as she was back in the day, but she does things. She gets around. Good for them. Good for Rebecca Romaine Stamos O'Connell, fan of the show, friend of the show, love her. All right, moving on. Time to move on back to the world that is the Secret Identity.
I hate these games. You know I hate these games.
I know, but our three fans love them. They always tell us more games.
I don't think they love them. I refuse to believe they love these fucking stupid games.
Feisty cat today. She had a rough night. She had to fire somebody, I think. I don't know, something happened.
No.
Tell me about My Secret Identity. What is your hot take on My Secret Identity? Explain to these youngings out there, because I bet you like 4 people in the world know what this show is.
And now it's 5 because you made me watch this.
You've never seen this? You never watched this after Swan's Crossing?
I never saw this!
I would rush home from...
I never saw this!
I would be like hurrying up to finish my paper out so I could go watch this show, because it was great.
No! At this time, I was watching Saved by the Bell and Charles in Charge.
Whatever, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
So, it's like this kid he's like your average, ridiculous 80s teenage boy who mows lawns for the neighbors to make some extra cash. He's only got one parent. We don't know why.
They never really got into it.
We don't know if it's a divorce or if there's a death, whatever. We don't know at this point. We just know he's got like a younger sibling. I think a sister.
Yeah, so in the original pilot, Andrew has a brother and a sister, and I guess they decided to go against that, but for some reason they include the voice of the sister is in the pilot episode, which is the episode we did. Mm-hmm. You don't actually see her. She just like yells at him like from another room, and he's just kind of all flabbergasted and wakes up and he's floating or something. Yeah. Can we also point out that the lawnmower that Andrew uses to mow the lawns, it's one of those ones that like they use on The Simpsons when Homer and Flanders had to mow each other's lawns because of that mini golf contest.
It's just a push mower. That's all it is.
Yeah, but have you ever actually seen one of those in real life? Because I never have.
I've used one of those in real life.
Really? Are they effective?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you gotta push to do it. It doesn't have the motor.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, how does it?
Yeah.
How does it? Like the thing spins around, it just like clips the blades, right?
Yeah. Just like an electric mower, but like, or gas powered, whatever. But like with those, it has an engine that moves it along, and you gotta kind of control it.
Yeah. Except for this one, you're relying on the.
And those are scary, dangerous.
The gas powered ones.
There was a point where Haven wouldn't let. When it was like, yeah, no, you're not mowing the lawn. You can't handle that thing.
Well, I guess the safety. feature of this push mower is that, if you accidentally get it caught in like a tennis ball and you have to reach your hand in there to get the tennis ball out, you're not going to, lose your hand when all of a sudden it just breaks free and cuts your hand off and you got to go to the ER and you're carrying your hand in there.
You're not going to probably like cut off a sprinkler or something. Sprinkler head. No,
just get caught in it and I don't know, it get all mangled. I don't know, but that's what they used to mow their lawns in Canada.
Or maybe it's all they felt comfortable letting a 14-year-old handle.
I mean, this was the 80s. We used to have lawn darts, for Christ's sakes.
Lawn darts are from the 70s, not the 80s.
Well, they were still in my neighborhood in the 80s, because I think we had hand-me-downs. They were, like, from the older kids that just, like, gave their toys to the younger kids.
Yeah, but you also are from the town that banned Halloween.
Yeah, but this is Well, actually, no, it wasn't. This was, like, in the midst. This is, like... We're in the midst of the Halloween banning. So, yeah, sorry, go on. I keep interrupting you.
Asshole.
I love you.
To be fair, I did send you a picture of me flipping you off first thing this morning.
That is true. I sent you a beautiful picture of me with my hair and makeup on. And you were, like, rolling out of bed with sleep in your eye.
Like, I was, like, literally still, like, I had one eye closed, like, one eye half open. I'm like... Click.
Yeah, did I send you a video? I don't even think I just sent you like a picture. It was like a video, I think.
No, you didn't send me a video this morning. You sent me a video yesterday.
Oh yeah, when I was driving in my car.
That I didn't even listen to until after I left work. So.
Alright.
So he's just like your normal, average, basic ass kid in the 80s, except he's got like the single mom and the one sibling or whatever. So he's making extra money to feed his comic book habit by mowing lawns in the neighborhood. And, he's got the one client who is the crazy scientist. Well, let's be real. Every other parent in that fucking neighborhood is probably like, kid, stay away from this guy. Something ain't right about him. And let's be real. There isn't something right about this guy. He's got a feud with the other neighbor over a tree of hers that is, like, growing into his yard. It's, like, she doesn't take care of it, so it's, like, a mess. He makes the kid, like... help him carry, like, what looks like a grill, like a regular grill. But then he takes out this big, like, remote control that has the long-ass antenna, which is almost practically touching the grill, like, at this point. Like, it's so freaking long that even when he's standing back, it's pretty much touching the grill. He hits that, like, one button, Scott, and up into flames does the whole thing go. And the neighbor lady's like, ah!
Yeah, motherfucker nearly burns the neighborhood down. like, that was okay. Like, that was fine. Like, nobody complained. The cops didn't come by. The fire department didn't come by and have to put out an accidental brush fire.
Yeah.
Wildfires, things happen, right? That grass looked dead. I feel like that grass could have burned really easily.
Yeah, so, like...
Didn't look like green grass to me.
He's, like, that crazy guy. You just never know, like, what kind of, like, if he's gonna blow up his house or not. You're, like, waiting for the day this man blows up his house and the whole fucking neighborhood.
Do you think he's that kind of house where it's, it's nighttime, it's, like, prime time, you're trying to watch Who's the Boss, and you hear all these, like, explosions, and you look out your window, and you can see his basement window, you just see all these bright lights coming out of it. Do you feel like it's something like that happens in this neighborhood?
Yeah, totally. 100%. Like, he's just, like, the neighbors are just sitting there watching Jeopardy with their wives and competing against each other, like they're Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher in The Burbs.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
Next thing you fucking know, like, the whole neighborhood is outside going, what the fuck is happening there? What is this crazy man doing? How do we get him out of the neighborhood? Because our house values are going down.
There's a mystery fog floating through the neighborhood, and, he's calling up everybody. He's saying, hey, don't go outside and breathe because, there might be something toxic in the air. So anyway, while all this is going on, a moving truck pulls up across the street. And out comes, like, a dad and just a young girl, about the same age as Jerry O'Connell, about the same age.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit older. The actress looked a little bit older for some reason. I don't know why.
It's the 80s.
Yeah. So anyway, he sees her and he waves. She kind of waves, but she's unpacking all her shit. And then he tries to impress her, so he takes his shirt off to mow his lawn with his shirt off.
That was so awkward.
As soon as he takes his shirt off, she turns around and goes in the house, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And then, and then the dad's like, "Hey kid," he's like, "Do you think you can mow my lawn too?" And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll do it. Anything to get closer to Wendy. I think that we find out that's her name, right?
I think
so.
so.
Wanda.
I don't even remember.
It begins with a W. He then knocks on the scientist door, whose money's low, and he's asking him. He wants a raise. He wants to make a little bit more money because he wants to I don't know, get a new issue of Journey into Mystery or something. And the guy's like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "Yeah, like I'm made out of money." He ends up going to his basement for some reason. I don't know why. He goes downstairs. He trips over the bottom step just as Dr. J's photon beam goes off. Why? It's like set up and ready to like arm and shoot inside his house. I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But he gets shot with the photon beam and he passes out. And he wakes up like maybe a few minutes later and Dr. J's like hovering over him. He's like, "You all right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You just got blasted with a huge, wad of gamma radiation. I need to check you out." So he checks his vital signs, does a little, checks his reflexes, maybe, does a finger with his eye and follows his eye movement. He's like, "You're good. You can go home now. Here's $10. I'll give you that raise after all."
Just let me know if you get nauseous or you have seizures. And the kid's like, okay. Will do.
I love, seizures is just the cause of concern after getting shot with radiation. Not maybe you'll have, you grow a new arm.
The kid doesn't even seem to realize anything happened to him.
No, but he goes home. He just reads a couple of issues of his comic books. He falls asleep. He wakes up the next morning, and he goes to shut his alarm clock off, and he's kind of putting his arm where it should be, but it's not there. And all of a sudden he realizes that he's floating in bed, Marlena from Days of Our Lives style.
Yes, without the devil worship and possession.
I will say the floating effects in the show is pretty good, actually. I'm not going to lie. It was, top notch for a 1988.
It actually took me a second to realize he wasn't, on the bed. But it could just be those bright yellow sheets he had.
That is true. He had the pre-Zach Morris bed where it wasn't these wild designs. It was just banana boat yellow.
It was some yellow, man.
Andrew's now trying to figure out, how he's gonna not float anymore, because now he hears his mom come up the steps. So, I don't know, he, floats over to his weight set, and he grabs his weights, and he, pretends he's working out in the morning. He's lifting, curling.
Yeah.
The mom's like, "Listen, man, it's Tuesday. We don't got time for this. You gotta get to school or something. We don't got time for you curling in here." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll stop. So the mom leaves, and he lets go of the weight, and he floats up. And then he floats over to the comic books, and he looks at his comic books, and he's like, "Wait a second, I know this. This has happened before." So he starts rifling through all of his comics, and he realizes that he has abilities.
And when he's rifling through his comics, he's taking them off the fucking wall, because he has pinned them to the wall.
Yeah, he thumbtacks them to the wall. But then he floats up, and he hits his head on, the ceiling, and he's like, "How come that didn't hurt? That was weird." So he starts trying to, formulate what special abilities he has, so... 1, he is weightless, and 2, he can't be hurt. That's what he's realized.
Yeah.
Somehow, he grabs a can of Right Guard deodorant spray, which he uses to propel himself around the house.
So this is where my theory comes in. This is why there was a hole in the ozone layer, because of all the damn aerosol they used just for these scenes.
So I did read though that in the second season of My Secret Identity, they did away with that. I think they got a lot of complaints, because I think this was around the time when people started realizing that aerosol cans are bad for the environment.
Yeah, because of the chlorofluorocarbons.
Yeah, they just can't have some 14-year-old kid using, 600 cans a day just to get around, because he can't stay on the ground.
For real!
Oh, it's great. So he has to, always walk around with aerosol cans, because he has to, spray himself towards the ground, because he just floats away.
Oh my god.
So he floats over to his neighbor's house, to Dr. J's house, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Andrew just gets us immediately off the bat. He's like, "Hey, you know what? I kind of want to be a superhero. I got the powers." And Dr. J, in his right mind's like, "Hey, you know what? We need to figure out what's going on first. This isn't normal.
I mean,
this has never happened before, ever.
You're a freaking 14-year-old kid. This is not how puberty goes."
Yeah, he's shitting bricks. He's like, "Oh fuck." He's like, "The mom's gonna find out. The mom's gonna drive me out of town. I'll have to gather up all my stuff and go somewhere else, and I don't get money because I don't work. I don't know what he does all day."
I don't know. Maybe he sells a patent every once in a while and gets a payout for something.
Oh, you think he's one of those guys that's trying to invent something and sell it to the patent office? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Do you think he's one of those like who are those guys that would get patents on everything and then sue people after they,
Maybe.
came out with the actual product? They did the legwork. I feel like he's one of those guys.
Probably.
Yeah, so now Dr. J is like, we got to figure out what's going on. So he's like, we got to draw some blood. So he pulls out his hypodermic needle, pokes the guy.
Because it's totally normal that he has that.
I mean, he's a scientist, right? He's got all this kind of stuff. Unless you're shooting up, who knows? We don't know. You know what? Hold on.
I mean, it was the 80s.
I have a hot new theory. I have a hot new Dr. J theory. He works at the local hospital. He's probably like the janitor or something, or I don't know what. But he stole a lab coat from there and a bunch of medical supplies, so that's why he has all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the needle breaks on Andrew's arm. He can't poke him. He can't get blood out of him. And Andrew is super jazzed. He's like, yes. He's like, I just got to come up with a name. So he starts coming up with names, and he decides on Ultraman.
Because he's a 14-year-old boy, and he's not that creative. Like, think about it. Shazam! Have you seen Shazam? He tried to come up with all kinds of really stupid names.
All right, so while all this is going on, we got to cut back over to the neighbors. Wanda and her dad. There's somebody after them. There's a creepy guy in like an old Monte Carlo, like an old brown Michael Myers car. He's onto them. He's showing up at the local school with a picture of Wanda being like, have you seen this girl? It's very Terminator 2-ish. And because she's new in town, no one really knows her.
Yeah, like a super creepy guy.
Yeah, the gym teacher or whoever it was just like very willy-nilly and giving up information. She's like, I don't know her. I think she just started yesterday, but here's her address.
Like, dude, if that guy showed up at school today and did that, the police would be waiting for him outside of that school. Like, that would not happen today. They'd be like, oh yeah, come into this office. Call the school officer, be like, dude, this creepy old man came looking for a kid. Get him out of here. So
the creepy guy, he drives into the neighborhood just as Andrew and Wanda are, like, Andrew's about to ask Wanda out. She's like, no, I can't, I'm not allowed to, like, have friends, or I'm not allowed to talk to anybody. I'm just going to stay inside and hide all day.
Yeah, because when she offered Andrew lemonade, the dad got, like, so freaked out.
Oh, yeah, the dad's like, Wanda, you're not allowed to see your neighbors. So we're already like, something's up. Something's going on. I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, all of a sudden, the creepy guy shows up and kidnaps Wanda, just like throws her in the car, drives off, drives through like trash barrels. So there's trash all over the street now. And the dad comes up and he's like, what happened? And Andrew's like, I don't know, they rode off with your daughter. And he's like, oh, fuck. So he like runs inside, he gets on the phone, calls up the FBI, and he's like, you said I would be safe. Witness protection, my ass. So now we know that they must have witnessed a crime.
Yeah.
So now Andrew, he's like, all right, tough times. I gotta do due diligence here. I got powers. I can't get hurt. I can float. I don't know. My mom just went to the supermarket and just bought a bunch of Right Guard. So I'm fully stocked up. So I'm gonna do the next thing. I'm going to call up the local hotels, and they find out about a creepy guy that just recently checked in. He doesn't know which floor, though, so he just decides to fly around the hotel and looks into windows. And before
yeah, because that's not creepy at all. Thank God nobody saw this kid. And okay, so the girl is blindfolded in the room she's in, but they're on at least the third or fourth floor, maybe higher. And the windows are wide open, too. The windows are open, because it's high enough that you don't think anybody's gonna, see. But I'm sitting here how the fuck did this guy get this girl in here and nobody in this hotel noticed? Do you think he rolled her up in a old rug, like they do when they're trying to get rid of a body? Did he stuff her in a duffel bag? You know what? Maybe he went in the back door at night. Actually, it's daylight, so yeah, I don't know. It was freaking daytime when he kidnapped her, so it had to have been I don't know. I don't get it. We only had 23 minutes. But the kid's flying around outside, and she's folded and tied to a chair, and he burst through the freaking window.
Before he busts through that hotel window, though, he's still like looking at other windows, and he sees like an older lady like almost get ready to take a shower, and he like stops for a minute, and then he finds the people he's looking for. Anyway, yeah, so he crashes through the window, and the mob guy is like, "What the hell just happened? Why is there like a teenager in my hotel room come crashing through the third floor?" And he punches him. He just goes up and punches him, but Jerry O'Connell is like impervious to punches. So he's laughing at the mobster. And the mobster is confused. The mobster just has zero idea of what's going on. He's like, why can't I hurt this kid? And why is this kid floating above me? So then the scientist then comes in, and because he follows him there. He follows Jerry O'Connell on the ground, like in his car.
I have words for this.
You got to think about the logistics of this. Could you just say, like, you're out walking your dog, you're just a little old lady, you're walking Pookie down the street late at night, Pookie and Binky, they're these little, like, fluffy white dogs, and you look up and you see, you know, the kid from next street over, the kid who's always mows the lawns with his push mower, floating over you.
No.
Like this, she thinks she ran back home and like told her husband's like, "You're off your meds again, Martha." it's like Mrs. Kravitz seeing something wacky, you know, in the Bewitched neighborhood, and Abner's like, "Dementia's setting in early."
Oh God.
Hold on, hot new take. What if Jerry O'Connell, as this kid, moved into the Bewitched neighborhood?
Oh dear God.
Could you imagine the adventures that these two would have?
Oh my God.
Let's make it a reality. Jerry O'Connell, we got ideas. You already played Herman Munster once on a failed Munsters pilot, so you know you get that itch for old timey TV.
Could you imagine him as the Darren?
You know what? I could see Jerry O'Connell playing the Darren.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, he's got that Darren look. He's young, he's affable.
Jerry O'Connell as Darren, Jen Lilly as Samantha.
Ooh, I have no idea who that is.
Jen Lilly was she's been on General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, and a whole bunch of like Hallmark movies. I'm gonna send you a picture right now.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought you said Jennifer Tilly.
No, God no.
I was like, whoa, Jennifer Tilly. brave new Ruby.
I'm gonna send you a picture of Jen Lilly right now.
Why not Rebecca Romaine? Why not throw her in the mix?
No, I don't feel her do comedy very much.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's more. I feel her more for drama stuff, soapy stuff.
She's gonna play the temptress. How about Rebecca Romaine Stamos for Stifler's mom in the American Pie reboot?
I could see it.
She's got a career ahead of her. Why not January Jones as Samantha?
No, not the right vibe.
You don't think she's witty?
No.
Ugh. You're not fun. She's played 60s housewife before. She's great at playing housewife.
Okay, but Bewitched doesn't have to take place in the 60s.
But then we won't have an advertising executive backdrop. And January Jones has already played the wife of an advertising executive.
Okay, we still have advertising executives. We are force-fed ads like 1 million times a day, man.
But it's not a sexy career anymore. It's not like fun and sexy. You don't have like cool Mad Men style offices.
Okay.
You don't see
Mad Men is not the end-all be-all of the world. Can we just drop that narrative already?
I love when we get feisty cat. No, I have this like hot idea of just like Jerry O'Connell in 1960s.
Like I can see him as a Darren Stevens, maybe a little goofier.
Okay, yeah, make him a little goofier. You know what, make him a part of, maybe, you know what, how about this? After a while I got annoyed that Darren Stevens didn't embrace the magic. How about a Darren Stevens where he embraces the magic?
Like, eventually, yeah.
Maybe not at first, but, you know, like episode 11.
Yeah.
Maybe by episode 11, after the fall finale comes back. Maybe, you know what, maybe Jerry O'Connell as Darren Stevens got involved in some crazy life or death scenario, and January Jones as Samantha saved him. And he's like, you know what, I see your point. You know what, magic is great.
You're not going to have January Jones in this.
All right, Jennifer Lilly.
Stop casting January Jones every fucking time.
Well, it's either her or Jennifer Tilly. You got to pick one of the two.
You know what, Patrick?
This episode ain't going to end well.
No.
We're going to get the rare cat shuts the lights off, and I have to do the rest on my own. We're going to go to Witness Protection Program with Wanda. Save me, Jerry O'Connell. Save me. Save me from Cat Halstead. I think he just floated by my window with right guard.
Are you drunk or something?
No, I'm just drinking a Poland Spring triple berry. But I may have eaten an edible like 2 hours ago, so it could be the residual effects of
That
that.
explains it.
But does that explain the other previous 197 episodes where I act the same way? No. So follow us on Patreon. Pay $10 for the bonus features.
Why do I do this with you? Why?
All right, let's go back to your Jennifer Lilly. It's a modern day Samantha Stevens.
Yes.
Jerry O'Connell, he's work from home. It's he works from home a lot now because that's the new world, and he's just sitting on his laptop. And Samantha Stevens is coming up with these hot new ideas. She just Jerry O'Connell's like, oh man, I really need a penguin. We need a penguin in this new like polar ice cream commercial ad, but it's hard to get a penguin right now because everyone saw Tiger King and now everyone's against using animals. And Samantha Stevens like, hey, guess what? I can just make a magical animal for you. It's not real. It doesn't exist. And we don't have to use CGI. CGI is expensive. And poof, it's there. Yeah, I like it. I'm into it now. I'm into it, Kat. Sorry. I see it now.
Okay, yeah, you see it now?
That's episode 12.
Good.
Of Bewitched 2020.
I'm glad you finally see it.
How about this? How about you know what? Let's not make him an advertising executive. How about he works for the White House?
No.
He's an aide.
No.
We got like the growl. She's laughing, so I know it's good. Yeah, we want to just finish off my secret identity because I think we're at the end.
I think, God, I hope we are.
So the scientist, Dr. J, he breaks in. He has, some kind of weapon with him. He disarms the mobster. The real FBI show up. They cuff him. They say, great job, kid. Great job at doing our job. I'm so glad you caught the assassin.
Great job, kid. And random freaking scientist guy.
Yeah, random scientist who works at the hospital as a janitor but steals lab coats and medical supplies and Bunsen burners.
And so then Wanda Lake is leaving town with her dad because they gotta go find someplace else, apparently.
I know, I thought they were setting up this great romance. It's like Lois and Clark, the Flash and Iris, but no, like the girl leaves at the end of the first episode. She never comes back.
But not before she kisses Jerry O'Connell goodbye.
Yeah, she gives him his first kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets excited and he floats up to his bedroom window and smiles at her and she drives off in the car and we get 3 more seasons of wacky adventures with this kid.
Apparently, yes, I guess.
All right, so some fun facts about the show. They decided they didn't always want Jerry O'Connell to battle villains, so sometimes they just had him, get involved with like fixing things at school. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a bully.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a balloon floated to the ceiling and he had to save it, or maybe rescue a kid from he climbed too high up on the ropes and he couldn't get down. He's like a cat. Cats know how to get up, but they don't know how to get down. Wild times. It was a great show, and it's corny as fuck. But you know what? I enjoyed.
It's like almost at Captain America movie level corny.
But it had a funness to it. There was just very innocent, just very quirky. It was kind of cool seeing all the superheroes because they actually had actual comic books in it. So my guess is Marvel Comics probably had a hand in it in some fashion.
Probably because there was Marvel stuff all over the place.
Yeah, that kid had a pretty cool room, but I was just really upset that he had vintage comics thumbtacked to his wall. That just kind of upset me.
I mean, he didn't have the actual comics thumbtacked. He had the sleeves. That is true.
But I don't know. I just was thinking maybe he got careless one night and it fell off and he tacked it wrong or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know because he had original from the '60s issues. Those things were worth a mint. So how in the fuck that Mrs. O'Connell afforded that? I don't know.
All I know is she looks really happy to be riding her exercise bike in the opening credits, and it really weirded me out.
That's the part that weirded you out this episode. Just that one part.
That weirded me out. She looked I've never seen anybody look that happy on an exercycle.
Well, you know what? It's the 80s. We're post Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical, and that Suzanne Summers leg cruncher thing.
Thigh Master.
We're in a brave new world of exercise fads. So she was trying everything. She was excited. This is probably if this just came into the house that day. This is first day. She got it all set up. She's ready to lose those lbs. She's been stressed. She's a single mom. She has to, work 2 jobs. She works at I don't know. She's a waitress at night, and then during the day, she's like a. I feel like she works at the bank. She seems like she kind of had like banker lady vibes. That's the kind of vibe I got from her.
I mean, at least for the job interview.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. She was going on a job interview. That's right. She was late. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
She was all right. Her fashion for the job interview was not that bad for the 80s. I don't think so.
No, it wasn't.
Of the time, it wasn't like the shoulder pads or anything. It was actually very. I kind of want. We'll get a screen cap of it. I kind of want Kat Halstead to buy this outfit, wear it to work.
No. Fuck no.
Why not?
Fuck, no. Fuck you.
I think you should. I think you'd rock it.
No.
If anyone out there thinks, tweet us at Very Podcast. I'll post a pic of it later.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
On a scale.
No.
On a scale of 1 out of 5, right guard aerosol cans. How many cans would you give this?
2.
2. Ooh, I was expecting a 1, so I'm kind of excited. So you liked it on like a little bit of a level. Something about it made you smile.
Like, it's not the absolute worst thing I've seen, but it was bad.
All right. Where would you place it? And I'm trying to think of something like, what are some of the horrible things that we've done? We did Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which Kat notoriously hated.
I mean, it's right up there with Sabrina.
There was something we did recently that you like absolutely despised, and I was so shook and surprised that you hated it.
I don't even remember.
Did you go through the list?
I'm sure I'll get a message about this one.
Why?
Because I'm such a mean, evil bitch to you.
All right, so we've heard the facts. We've heard Kat's facts. She gave it a 2, a respectable 2, in my opinion anyway. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to give it a 3. It's going to get a solid 3. It didn't make me want to watch more episodes, but it definitely, like, it just settled a hunger that I had. You know, it had been probably 30 years since I've last seen this, and just the memory of it was wildly different than what I remember. Like, I just envisioned a really older, late teenage years Jerry O'Connell, and I was just surprised to see a kid, a young guy, like, probably, like, just hit puberty.
I don't know. Like, you probably were getting him confused with Wilder, Camp Wilder, or whatever it was called. Jerry O'Connell.
Oh. No, like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing this up with another show.
Maybe.
But I'm going to throw this out there. This show, between this show and Out of This World.
Out of This World is way better.
Okay. I respect your opinion. I mean, Out of This World did have an intergalactic space war as the backdrop of the series, so.
And it also had Burt Reynolds as the voice of the dad.
Uncredited. And it had your boy toy from General Hospital as well, so.
Yeah,
I guess I see it. I don't know. I just kind of. I just remember when Sliders came out in, like, the mid-90s, and I was like, holy shit, it's the kid from My Secret Identity.
I feel like your timelines are off.
Why?
I don't know. Like, okay, because the Thigh Master is like a 90s thing. Oh, Sliders did come out in 95. I think of Sliders as late 90s.
Well, it was on.
Early 2000s.
It aired to like the early 2000s, and like the Sci-Fi Channel just kept it in its rotation for so long. So that's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
But the original season of Sliders, it was on Wednesday nights, like after 90210 or something one year. And then Fox canceled it, and it somehow returned to the schedule on a Friday night after the X-Files. So what a time. What a time to be alive. It certainly was. So the Thigh Master was the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of... I'm just trying to remember back to, like, spending time as a child in my house and friends' parents' house who had moms that were home, and just seeing them caught up in all these, like, workout videos and...
Yeah. Like, the Jane Fonda videos are, like, late 80s, early 90s. Because I remember doing those in grade school. And then you have, like, the Thigh Master of the 90s. You get the Shake Weight in the 2000s.
Did you have that little, like, ab roll, the little wheel that you, like, roll on the ground?
I never had that.
Oh, that was painful. I did that once. I didn't own one, but I tried somebody's once, and I did, like, 2, and I was, like, done for the week. I was like, not for me. Abs aren't in my future. Sorry. Move up. We'll have to just get the Facetune app and give me abs. Do you have any last minute thoughts on My Secret Identity? Do you have any last hot takes on the reboot of Bewitched that we worked on? Have we finalized that yet?
So, like, the one thing I took away from this is that Dr. J is played by the guy who played Andy on Cheers, who's, like, this crazy guy who kept trying to kill Diane.
You're right.
Yeah. And, like, my favorite is that, like, he comes back in, like, the last season, and he's all like, I'm looking for Diane, and nobody, the only person there who would like recognize him, like none of the people who would recognize him are there. And it's just Woody's like, oh no, Diane, Miss Chambers, she quit here a long time ago, moved to California. And he's like, oh, okay, bye.
It just bounced. You know what? He was probably available on this, like maybe he was filming something next door, and they're like, hey, let's just use him for a hot second.
Well, it was the final season, so I think they were like tying stuff up with their little jokes at the first, before the theme song.
Ooh, okay, all right. I didn't know that.
And those weren't always like filmed with the actual episode.
Cold openings, yeah.
Yeah, the cold opens.
I always loved how they were always unrelated to the story, though. It just kind of lured me into that world. And I think sometimes I wanted like the episode to be about that. And I was like, oh, how could it have been about that? Mm-hmm. You know, how come the first episode of Cheers could have been about that kid who came in with a fake ID, like the 12-year-old kid?
Oh, Cheers. How I love thee.
All right. I'm excited for next week. I don't know about you.
I'm nervous about next week.
You're nervous?
Because it's been a really long time since I've watched that show.
So I'm really excited about next week. Next week, we are doing a show. This is a show that has been requested by several people on Twitter, including one of our friends of the show, Heather. Heather, you requested the show probably like year one. We have yet to do it. We're not going to do the episode that you always tell us to do. Maybe someday, but we're going to do an episode that brings in a beloved actor who guest stars on the series this one episode, and I'm excited about it. So next week we're going to do Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, our girl Buffy.
I can't with you.
Featuring...
Guys, this is why I get so, like, done.
I meant to say our girl Buffy featured our boy Ted Danson.
Come on.
You got me nervous. Kat's got me nervous as fuck this week. I don't know why. Like I felt like I stepped on her paw. She growled at me, and now I'm just afraid to talk. Super afraid to talk.
God. No wonder people at work think I'm scary.
So anyway, we're doing the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with John Ritter. The episode's called Ted. I think I had Ted on my mind. We're talking about Cheers. We're talking about Mary Steenburgen. It all comes back together somehow, right?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right. Where can you follow our wild adventures, Kat, said the author? Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you should be able to find us. So subscribe.
And as always,
comment.
As always,
review. Tell me how much of a crazy bitch I apparently am. Because Patrick's the perfect little fucking angel.
As always, girl. As always.
Bye.
And watch the skies for what I've been waiting all morning to say. Sherry O'Connell floating by your window with the right guard aerosol cans. Because where else would I have gone with that? Am I right?